UT Martin head coach Jason Simpson, the Skyhawks came out just short at Tennessee State 26-24. They'll be at home. They'll play a CMU team coming off a victory this past week. So, Coach, thoughts on your team, and then we'll go to some questions.
Okay, great. Tough loss. Give Coach Reed and his staff and his team credit. They got off to a great start and, did what they had to do to win the football game. So congratulations to them. Evaluating our team on that, obviously, I didn't have our team ready to play. Give up 17 points in the first quarter. I thought there was probably about 8 plays on defense that quarter that were about as bad as since I've been the head coach here. And so we walked around, didn't what we were supposed to be, and they gashed us. And so got to halftime there, I guess 17-7, and then they took a lot of time off the clock in the third quarter and got points on the first drive. And so at that point, you're just you're blitzing every down. You're just trying to get some stops, and we did that. Then to our kids' credit, kept fighting fourth quarter, made a couple plays, made a game out of it. Came up short, but very dissatisfied with our performance. There's a lot of different things that come into play of kids out and injuries, but we're all dealing with that. But we didn't perform very well and or not enough, when we needed to. And so disappointing, and move on to a tough CMU team this week.
If anybody has questions for Coach Simpson, just let me know down in the chat and I'll call on you. Disappointed, but what can you take from that fourth quarter that can carry over and some of the things you saw where you scored on every possession you had, save for the one play at the very end?
Yeah, no, certainly. We started, executing a little bit better, making some plays. But, as we visited with the kids yesterday and we look, a lot of our more established players, there was a lot of mistakes there. Visiting with John at the quarterback position, with Colton Dowell, those guys have to play at a high level for us to win football games. And there were some things that we've got to do a better job, coaching them and getting them to execute at a higher level, and expect them to bounce back this week and perform even better. But certainly, like I said, we competed there certainly in the fourth quarter and had a chance, even not performing for up to 3 quarters, but 2-point play, got to give the kids a better chance. Maybe tie that one up and go into overtime, but I didn't get it done.
One question about TSU, and then we'll move on to your next opponent. What did you see that they've done well running the ball? They've been maybe the best rushing team the last 3 weeks in the OVC.
I think they're coached well. I think Coach Armfield does a good job in facing them for all these years, and they get on people's tackles are good, and the back runs hard, and now they've had the quarterback element to it, in the run game, and so now you're getting, you can control the numbers in the box with the quarterback running. So hats off to them, made some adjustments and doing some good things.
So your opponent is coming off a 3-point win. They gave up a touchdown with about 3 minutes to go. So more close games, just like your game was close. What have you seen from CMU as far as what they want to do? They have the Andrew Bunch, the transfer quarterback. And they ended up with 87 rushing yards, but they had a long one called back at the end of the game. So it seems like they were very balanced offensively.
Yeah, they're going to be physical on offense and got a couple schemes on offense and run game they hang their hat on year after year and do a good job with those. And like most of us, when they don't turn the ball over, they're going to score the 30 points and tough to beat when you give that up, or when you allow them to score that many. But that team, does a great job on defense with Coach Tuke and their scheme and their belief and their culture on defense. They've been a very difficult opponent for us over the last several years to be able to generate enough points, to win the football game. So, once again, it will be schematically it's a challenge, which is a credit to their staff, and then credit to their recruiting and players. Big defensive line and physical, and so a tough matchup, for us again this week.
They had a receiver who, as a senior, had been around the best game he'd had in his career, 10 catches. What do you have to do I know it's across the board, but to prevent somebody from having a 10 catch, 173-yard day?
Yeah, I think a couple years ago they had the good player that had 200 against us. So, maybe we won't repeat that again, but that's you can't let one guy just you got to make them find other guys and get out of a comfort level. You can't let guys just dominate a game and treat it like batting practice per se.
Short week this week with games not being played on Sunday because of Easter. Just thoughts on that and one less day of preparation. Obviously impacts both teams, but just what your thoughts were.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of is what it is. You don't like having short weeks. There's I'm sure our roster isn't like most people. Your numbers are down because of you got extra spots, but none of us had the financial resources, to exceed those spots. I know certainly we didn't, with the seniors added with the eligibility. And then you brought guys at mid-year for next year, who are ineligible to play right now. So, we've got a good looking scout team right now, just guys that can't play with us to the fall. So then you add injuries and stuff. So a short week is not beneficial, but I'm certainly glad, that we're not playing on Easter Sunday. That wouldn't be good for anybody. So kind of is what it is. And you put it together and you go back and play.
I think Coach Toot got asked this, but some teams have opted out and across the country, but we've so far, knock on wood, we've played all of the games. Just 2 games left. How do you see what the spring season has been like so far now that everybody's played 5 games?
Right now, I would tell you there's a lot of benefit to it. A lot of development from players. It gave kids a chance to make memories, to chase a championship. Kids only have a small window before they move on to the next stages of their life. So a lot of positive things from that. None of us have seen yet how it's going to affect us. When you get to May and June goes by pretty fast, and then you're back in July, and then you're grinding back up for a 10-11 game season. So that'd be a different question when I answer that in the fall, but it's going to be all the way through next spring before you get back into a normal cycle with what the country dealt with with the pandemic.
Well, Coach, appreciate your time as always. Best of luck on Saturday, and we'll talk to you again next week.
Hey, thank you, Kyle. Appreciate you guys.